Hey everyone, I just wanted to introduce you to the new Alpha Hunter for token launches and what this is going to do, and something that I think we are all very proud of. And really, what it focuses on is finding every single new token that is being launched across all of the prominent blockchains that are being used that whales are buying at time of launch. So, and a whale can be defined in different ways, but we are generally defining a whale as someone of prominent impact in the market itself, somebody who has a significant balance of several hundreds of thousands, going all the way up to 8 figures, 9 figures. And then if there are multiple whales accumulating and it happens to pass our token audit and our screening criteria, and it passes our general due diligence and our evaluation, and we ideally doing everything we can to exclude out honeypots and trying to minimize the impact of any potential rug pulls. After all those checks are done, it produces signals to tell you which projects are being bought at time of issuance by the whales. So to me, it's something that I'm very proud of. It's something that I think it's taken us years to build, and this is just the first version, the first iteration that I wanted to release. So what you're seeing here is when you're a Blockcircle member, you'll be able to have access to this Alpha Hunters token channel that you see here. And this channel will have all of the projects that are being issued. So we've been testing it, internally with the Alpha leaders and the Alpha Hunter testing group that have been tremendous, and they've been providing some incredibly valuable constructive feedback. And really what it does is it just produces an alert anytime. So within 5 to 7 minutes after a token is launched, and once usually the market cap is around 65,000 to 100,000 plus, it will come through after passing all of our evaluation, our screening, and our scrutinization that we have built in into our automated alpha hunting tool. So what it's doing is after it does that, it then produces a signal, right? And then that signal essentially will tell you some very important information about the project. So I'll walk you through this one by one. And then I wrote it all out in the actual Blockcircle Alpha Hunter user guide. So field by field, you will be able to see it very clearly, and you'll have a very defined description. So, and if there are any questions on this, which I'm assuming there will be, please don't hesitate to ask. I'll be happy to help. So let's go through this one by one. So what we'll do is we'll go through Jelly as one example, which is this one here. So we'll go through field by field, and we'll take our time to do it properly. So when you look at Jelly My Jelly, from the top to the bottom, it gives you the project name, gives you the contract address, the description that's being pulled directly from multiple sources of metadata, which includes what's being published on the blockchain, includes the website meta description, includes the X profile, bio. We take all of those descriptions and then we infer what the category would be for this project. So you'll see that in other projects, but this particular description is directly from what's being published by the dev at time of token issuance on chain. And then the links to both trading terminals, Dex Screener and Gecko Terminal, it's automatically finding the most liquidity pool for this particular token. And then there's a financial section. So there's market capitalization, volume, amount of liquidity, how much of the top 10 holders are controlling in terms of a token supply. So top 10 are controlling 19%. What's the percentage of fake volume? How much insiders have made? How much insiders are still holding? What is the probability of this project being a cabal or a cabal controlled supply? And then again, everything is in the step 1 Alpha Hunter fields. So you don't need to be writing notes at this point. Everything is described in detail, field by field, metric by metric. So if I go back, so bundling, total bundles shows you the total number of bundles that were involved in controlling 89% of the supply, right? And then that required 94 SOL to be spent. And then method 2 is generally tracking the rate of bundling after it bonds and all of the liquidity migrates out of pump fund into a radium liquidity pool. So that method 2 does a much better job of tracking bundling after bonding. And then the held percentage shows you how much of the 89%, so method 1 bundling, is still being held. And then the number of actual tokens being held is 83 million, right? And this is for Solana. So usually it's about 1 billion tokens being issued. So 8.3% is around 83 million. And then bundling composition is showing you for method 1, out of this 89%, how is it broken out, right? So how much is the team bundling? How much were regular wallets bundled? How much of the 89% was bundled by new wallets? So usually I would be very careful when you have new wallets being extremely high, because a lot of those are manufactured wallets, fabricated token balances, and usually just airdropped, and or they're part of the bundle itself just to inflate numbers and create the illusion that there's high demand for this project, when in reality it's only 2 people building it, right? And then the rate of bundling by snipers, the rate of bundling by copy traders, and then you have a creator analysis. This shows you the number of prior coins being created and how many of those were rugs. And then rug ratio is literally the rug count divided by the total coins created. And then the token audit shows how much of the token is in reserve. So 50% of the liquidity is typically would be denominated in the token itself. And then these are scores. So think of them out of 100. These are generally going to be very low for the Alpha Hunter tokens because of the newness of the actual tokens themselves. So you have liquidity lock, you have the amount of the quality and the amount of information being published. The same with the pool, same with the number of transactions. They're looking at breadth and depth and variety of transactions, the long sustained history of transactions. Same with holders, and then same by the creation or the dev wallet. So then there's also token scanner audit results. So it shows you whether or not the token is mintable, is it freezable, can it be frozen, not frozen? Because usually you don't want things that are mintable, and you generally do not want things that can be frozen, right? And then the dev has launched a token, and this is the highest market cap that from any coin that the dev has launched previously. So this is obviously relating to this one project, to the same project, because the dev has only launched once. If there are airdrops, you would see it here. So you would see the rate of airdrop, the percentage. And then if it's a Solana Pump Fund project, which phase 1 and version 1 focuses on, it shows you the number of comments that were on the Pump Fund project page. This is actually quite useful as long as it's greater than 1. So if you see like 100 replies and then you go to the actual Pump Fund page and you see that there's actual legitimate activity and interaction, and it's not just spam and scam and phishing links, and it's clearly fabricated social statistics where you're seeing a lot of likes and a lot of people pushing the project, but clearly they all have the same exact number of likes. Like every comment, if it has 5 likes, 5 likes, 5 likes, that's manufactured, right? That is 100% a scam. I would be very careful with those. This also shows you whether or not the project reached King of the Hill status, which means it's the fastest to get to 45 or 50,000 market cap, and it was trending at Pump Fund at one point or another. 99% of them have hit King of the Hill status, and then this shows whether or not the deck screener page was paid prior to bonding. And then we go deep into really the true core of what the Alpha Hunter is focusing on. So this shows you the total number of holders. This shows you the distribution percentage of tokens by the top holders, excluding liquidity pools. And usually you don't want this to be too high. Otherwise, that would suggest like very high level of concentration, which would be concerning. This shows you the whale address For the first whale, it shows you the rank where they are in terms of holders. So this is the second highest holder. And then they basically have their total balance is 226,000, of which 223,000 is in Solana. Out of all their top 5 tokens, they have $2,800 worth. And then in this particular token, Jelly, they have $274 worth. Okay, and then this is the second whale. So this is the exact same metrics for the second whale, and you see the second whale is much larger, and they're ranked 11 in terms of the holders. So they have quite a bit, right? They have almost $1,800 worth of Jelly at that time. So we caught Jelly, if you look at the market cap, at 1.7 million, and this reached like an exorbitantly high number. So if I go to, let's look at it from the beginning. So see here. So here it went. We literally caught it right here at 1 million, and it went all the way up to 255 million. So it was quite significant. So, and then if you keep going down on the projects, you will see, keep going down on the post itself, you'll see the search popularity. So this is basically tracking the Google search volume and the cumulative level of interest in this particular key term. The reason we spent so much time building this custom metric is to be able to track whether or not the project itself that's being launched is based upon an in real life trend. So if it is an actual trending meme that's coming from TikTok, we would be able to identify it using this. We're tracking 1 day, 7 day, 30 day, and 90 day. And the way we're tracking it using just basic quantitative metrics that are seeing whether or not the popularity of this particular search term is higher than the average interest was in this term for the last 1 day, 7 day, 30 day, 90 day. And if it is, it'll show up here. So for this particular term, Jelly, on a 30-day basis, the current interest was higher than the 30-day average. It was higher than the prior 1 day average. It was higher than the prior 3-day average. So momentum is flipping high, and trending it's trending higher and higher to the right. Then what we do is we look at the token distribution much more deeply, and we look at the holder concentration and distribution level, right? So this is very, very important, and we append this. So we add this data when it's available, when our system's finished, parsing and calculating everything out. So at the time of doing that, and it's being updated dynamically. So you can see this shows you the number of holders that have more than $10 in the token. This shows you the number of holders that have more than $100, more than 1,000, more than 10,000. So this shows you that there's 1,400 wallets that have more than $10,000 in Jelly at the time of the latest calculation. So about 6%. And then this shows you the market cap divided by the number of holders. So the average token value per each individual holder. So that's 128 million divided by 22,000 wallets. And then the market cap divided by the number of holders that have more than $10. Market cap divided by the number of holders more than $100, etc. Open token accounts shows the total number of addresses that have held this token at one time or another. So what this means, and this is extremely important, because what it shows you is that at time of calculation, the latest calculation, there was 22,000 holders of this token. And 22,000 divided by 35,000 shows you what the holders to open token ratio is. This is really valuable because it shows you that if you have like 100,000 open token accounts and you only have 6,000 holders, that pretty much guarantees you that 94,000 of those were just fabricated fresh wallets where they were airdrop tokens, or they were given like $1 of a token to inflate holder rates, right? To try to suggest that there's high interest in the project. So this is very, very valuable data. And then the last thing is true holder concentration. So how many actually have less than $10? How many have between 10 and 100, between 100 and 1,000, etc.? And then at the end of it, you just have the link. So you just post it. So we've had massive wins with this. And how we're doing it all is this is what's taken it so long. It's been such a long, arduous, cumbersome process that requires so many steps. And because there's 100,000 tokens being launched on Solana Pump Fund alone. So phase one is just Solana Pump Fund, and 100,000 are being issued every day and then from there's about 500 to 1,000 that are going to a point where their market cap is greater than 65, 69, 70,000. And then from those, we are filtering it down to, at this current iteration, it's less than 30 to 40 a day maximum. So, and it just depends, obviously, on the level of activity and the market condition that we're in. But it's filtering out 99.99% of all the noise. Right? And that's something that I feel we should be tremendously proud of. It's taken a long time. And so that's where we're going. So we're going from 100,000 all the way down to around 30 a day. And it's around one an hour. So, but when the project come in, it doesn't mean just blind buy and pray and hold. It doesn't work that way. So with these tokens, you have to make sure you go through a proper due diligence and go through a proper evaluation screening process. So what we've done is we've essentially prepared our screening checklist. And the alpha leaders and the alpha testing group and Crypto Hunter and I are the ones who've prepared all of this. And it's taken us a long time to be able to get to this level of granularity. And really what it's doing is the checklist will help you from a pre-buying standpoint, and then also from a post-buying maintenance standpoint. So it's just very helpful to also pay attention to the weight of importance. This is obviously very subjective to me, so you can download this file and you can make any adjustments you want to it. But ultimately, and that's what many of the alpha leaders and testers have been doing. But this is the checklist. So prior to buying, check if the whale count is greater than 1, right? So that's easy. You can just see, okay, number of whales, that's 2. A second part of the checklist, check if the project has a website, has an X profile, does it have a Discord, does it have a Telegram, if the deck screener is paid, right? So go to here. Okay, you see a website, you see a Twitter, you see that they've definitely paid. So see, they've claimed it. So they've claimed ownership of the project itself and of the profiles. That's good. That suggests, check. Monitor the token value of each whale. So monitor whether or not the whales are still holding or did they just dump. So go to SolScan, open it up, go to the portfolio tab, paste in the contract address here, and then you'll see whether or not they're still holding. Clearly, they're still holding, but they sold most of it at this time, right? They sold most of it, and you could see exactly what they're holding and what they're not holding at that point. And that's really what the checklist is for. So go through all of these steps. And it's going to take you some time to go through it for the first, 5, 6, 10 times. But once you go through it 20, 30 times, it's going to become second nature and you're honestly going to know all of these by heart. And that's it. So that's the Alpha Hunter. I want to just high level share what the roadmap is, because this is something that I'm over the moon excited about. This is where I'm spending the vast majority of my time and effort on. Because the first version is just on Discord, but the next version, we're building a custom Telegram bot, which will allow you to customize different filters and different parameters to have different alerts sent to you. So if you only want to receive Solana Alpha Hunter tokens, or if you only want to receive Alpha Hunter tokens that are being traded on Arbitrum or on Ethereum or on Base, that have at least 3 whales, that have a market cap of at least $1 million, that have liquidity of at least 100,000, and etc. So hundreds of different search and conditional filtering criteria you can set up. That's the whole point of the Blockcircle Alpha Hunter Telegram bot. So it'll be like the ultimate alerts engine on steroids, if you can imagine it that way. So right now, phase 1 is we're just doing Solana Pump Fund, but we've already started phase 1.5, which is covering the entire Solana ecosystem, so all token launches. So that would have caught Trump, Melania, etc. It would have caught them immediately. It did catch Baron. So it caught Baron at 1.6 million, and this exploded to I think well over 400 million, right? So this exploded. This exploded 400x. So these are the biggest wins, like Lumo, Baron Meme, AGI XT, and there was Dwayne, there was Sora Labs, there were so many. Just GoFundMe was a massive win that Crypto Hunter's fiance caught very early. She's been helping us with the testing as well, which has been phenomenal from everyone involved. And that's really what we're doing. So that's the roadmap, is adding in the rest of Solana. And then the next phase is expanding to 30 plus blockchains, which includes Ethereum-based, Mantle Blast, Morph version 2, Scroll, Avalanche, Optimism, Arbitrum, Manta, ZK Sync. So every prominent layer 1, layer 2 EVM compatible blockchain is part of phase 2, and phase 3 is obviously expanding to SUI. And then phase 4 is looking at other blockchain ecosystems like XRPL and Sanoa, the one that's being built by and just launched by Sony. So there's a whole bunch. And then we're doing a lot more that we're adding in. And then the last thing I wanted to show you that's in the post that you'll see in some posts is the social media profile. So the social popularity is very important. So what it's doing is it's tracking the number of followers for this project, but it's also tracking some of the very prominent followers. And it's giving you the number of followers and also giving you a score out of 100. So 50 plus is really good. Even 40 plus, 30 plus, those are very prominent influencers, right? So Cobra Tate, he has a massive following. So the fact that he's following this profile is interesting. However, we also integrated X username history. So if the project is part of a legitimate merger and acquisition and it acquired a social media property as part of an expansion bid, then of course it's completely fine and legal and legitimate. But the chances are, more times than none, these projects are not like that, right? It's not like they bought some other company and then rebranded. It could be, it's a possibility. So just take that into consideration, and it's showing you that it used to be called O'Keefe Reborn and it used to be called Prince of Fakes. So I would be careful here. But hopefully that gives you the full picture. So I think let's roll this out. I'd love to give you let's get some constructive feedback on all ends. Thank you for your time, and let's open it up for the next round of testing, and let's keep iterating this beautiful Blockcircle Alpha Hunter. Very proud. Thank you so much.